Hello everybody, hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor here and we are back with a rumour mill. We've just recorded a Generation Leeds that is going to be posted on the Patreon later on today, so a bit of added content for you guys there. It was a fruitful half an hour discussion about where Leeds United are going. Daniel Farke, some worries, but some obviously positives about the addition. And don't worry, it's not like negatives or anything like that. It is just trying to discuss the full pie. And we're here as well today to discuss Daniel Farke's interview and what's gone on today. Obviously, Marcus Abad has left Leeds United, thank God, after 6 years. I don't really look at the goalkeeping department and think, wow, it's been a fantastic campaign for Marcus Abad. Obviously, Gallardo has left the under-21s as coach. There's been performance analysis leaving today, and I love that. I was mentioning to you guys not long ago that the deadwood needs to go. Change needs to happen behind the scenes because Leeds United is stale and nothing was evolving. It was the boys' club behind the scenes, and it still is to an extent until we see some others leave the club. But overall, I'm happy that he's come in. He wants his own backroom staff, and I think everything I'm gaining and understanding from Daniel Farke is that he essentially is coming in to do his plan and his plan only. The mirroring sort of conversational way he was speaking yesterday, that once again that mirrors Marcelo Bielsa is startling for me. It's plan A. Plan A doesn't work, we go back to plan A again. I think the hallmark of a good coach nowadays is flexibility, and I think that's what a lot of the Gladbach fans were saying, that the issue with Farke is he's just not flexible. However, what you've got to look at is if he'd have come into Leeds and he wasn't tactically flexible, tactically creative or anything like that, and wasn't able to be pragmatic in games, and he'd not won anything, then I'd be a little bit worried. I would be a little bit worried. However, he's won the Championship at a canter twice and went to the Premier League and was not backed. So overall, I do look at that and think to myself, well, because he's proven it, I'm absolutely fine with plan A. But him coming in, saying what he said, he's done everything that we expected anyway, where he said, the fans this, the fans that. But it was interesting how he mentioned in a German interview about Leeds United and the special crowd and Ellen Road being essentially a fantastic place to play football. So I think what I wanted to speak about this morning is managing expectation. And everyone here is, I wanted to sort of convey what we're speaking about on the Patreon. The Patreon, we're speaking about this in a lot more depth, but I think what your Leicesters and your Southamptons have got over Leeds at the minute is the fact that they've had a longer project. Russell Martin has not been confirmed. Wasn't confirmed until about 7 to 10 days ago, but apparently he was still working with the players behind the scenes, and that was a thing for best part of a month. Maresca at Leicester has now been there for the best part of 3.5, 4 weeks. Obviously, they brought bodies in as well. He'll have been working with people behind the scenes at Leicester. Obviously, they were there for pre-season the other day, just like Leeds United when it came to fitness and all this sort of stuff. But a manager being in the building, a manager getting his ideas in, embedded straight away means that they're a month ahead. They're a month ahead of Leeds United. So with 32 days to go to the start of the Championship campaign, I think it is naive and slightly deluded to think Leeds United are going to go in and maul it straight away. There's too much to do straight away for Leeds to do that. Now, I think expectation-wise, for me, Leeds United are going to start, hopefully, hitting gear back end of October, start of November. And that's me being realistic. And I think, 32 days, this current crop of players, there's been a lot there's been a difficult mentality. There really has. There's been a difficult mentality there for the best part of 2 years, which a lot of these players have been involved in. And switching that mentality around straight away within 32 days is going to be really difficult for Daniel Farke. They're going to back him with a massive wage budget for the Championship, which we understand today. But I think when you're managing expectations, I'm looking at Daniel Farke at Leeds now, and I'm allowing him 2 years. I am. And that's in the Championship. From a fan's perspective, I wouldn't mind this year if we built towards something and you could see something. I mentioned this last night on the stream, but I think it's fine. Obviously, football's subjective, but I think if maybe you believe that Daniel Farke should be getting results straight away with this current crop of players, then it's going to be, I think it's going to be a rude awakening for a lot of people. Leeds need to get transfers sorted very, very quickly. But I think the upheaval, I mean, we're seeing already the backroom staff, but can we go and get players without the CFL approval yet? We don't know. I don't know if that's a thing. You know, I'm not seeing a lot of that online. It's a very unusual situation right now. The stamp of approval hasn't been met. We can be talking to players, but can we confirm them as signings? Is that going to take... These are realistic conversations. Is that going to take another week for that to be approved? And then you're looking at 25 days till the start of the season and needing to get bodies in because, you know, outgoing wise, you're still looking at 6 to 10 players leaving. So you've then got to replace that. And if you think Leeds need more strength in depth, then you've got to add to that as well. So 6 to 10 go out, you know, maybe 6 to 8 come in. And Farke's already mentioned that Leeds United essentially need change. He said that. He said he needs to sort out the mentality. I'm paraphrasing there, but he's also said that there needs to be change when it comes to players coming in. And he'll want his own methods. As I say, there's a plan A. And when he stuck with the plan A at Gladbach and Norwich, they were the same players that played every week. The ones that we know. Aarons, Zimmerman, Godfrey, Lewis, Tribal, Tete, Buendia, Steeperman, Pookie, Campbell. These were players that were hallmarks of that Norwich side that would play every single week, bar injury. Then you might get an Onel Hernandez who comes in, or Campbell and Hernandez rotating. You know, these were players who for Norwich were the staples, and that's what he wants. That's the plan A. And he needs to trust the players. Very, very similar to Bielsa in terms of possession, you know, and working hard. And he's got an idea, you know, in The Athletic, he was saying that to get promoted, you need 75 points minimum. 75 points minimum. He's got that target. He knows exactly what to do and exactly how to get there. And that's why I'm enthusiastic about there being a plan A. But plan A needs to be facilitated with the players that he trusts and knows can deliver that plan, that strategy. So they need to buy into that. And I think he's already come out and said that he's happy with some of the players that he's got. But then in the same breath, he's spoken as well about adding to that. And I think that's a smart way of going about it. Daniel Farke is going to want to add very, very quickly. But we're looking at clubs around us. They have done that so far. And as I've said, guys, I think the structure being there with clubs in and around us already gives them a little bit of a head start. And that's why I'm expecting Leeds United to maybe hit those top levels, if we are going to hit those top levels, November. Back end of October, November, because that's what it's going to take to and you know there's an example of that in what he did at Norwich when they started very, very slowly and then built towards the back end of the season. So yeah, I think as a fan base, I'm almost coming on here to encourage a bit of management when it comes to expectations, because I think that is key as a fan base. That, you know, social media isn't almost an echo chamber of noise if Farke's not hitting the top level straight off the bat. I think we've got to give him time, but there's so much to do that if we were to get promoted this season, and a lot of you won't like this statement, but it's a massive, massive, massive credit to Daniel Farke. And, you know, statistics-wise, the three that come down with parachute payments and all this sort of stuff, you know, there's a massive statistic that is heavily in favour of Leeds United of getting promoted again. But we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do in a really short space of time. So overall, I'm very, very happy with Daniel Farke. I'm very, very happy with the appointment, but I'm seeing this as a project. I'm not seeing this as a short-term thing. I'm seeing this as a long-term thing. And I think the 49ers are too. They're going to heavily back him. Is it going to be enough for this season? I think the Championship's going to be a lot stronger this season. I really do. And the two that have come down with us are arguably Premier League clubs, as they are, you know, when it comes to budget and how long they've been in the Premier League. So they think they've got some divine right to be there as well as we do. So I think it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a tough old season. I think the teams in and around the top 6, top 7 are going to be decent as well. You know, making up that 4, 5, 6 clubs that are vying for the playoffs. And I think ultimately we've got to look at it with a little bit of normality and know that this is going to be a tricky one, but you've got to trust in Farke, and I think that's what they're encouraging at Leeds anyway with the 4-year contract. And it's great to see today that some of the deadwood, with all respect, is leaving. There's a bit of change being facilitated already, but change needs to be, you know, absolutely ridden through that club, because it's been a failure at that club and there's been loser mentality in that club for 2 years now. So that's not going to take 30 days to change around. That's going to take a longer period of time to gain that mentality and gain a real quality of player and convince a quality of player to come to Leeds United now. And I do think Daniel Farke has that pull. But guys, that's going to be it from me. The managing expectation is the main theme of this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think I'm talking rubbish? Do you think Leeds are going to go straight back up? Or do you think it's going to be building blocks? If you want some additional bonus content, it's over on the Patreon as of around about 12 o'clock. Me and my dad chatting through all this and more. Do that, everybody. Everything you put into the channel, when it comes to donations, it goes back into the channel. So yeah, guys, appreciate you, and I will see you very soon. Cheers.